Hi friends, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I'm back. We are going to work on this holiday cheer album that we started back in part one, and this is the one that I made the cover with a vintage placemat. And I have a few that I have listed in my Etsy shop. So if you want a placemat, they're posted and you can go grab one. Obviously, you can make a journal that is very similar with a different cover and it will be fabulous. But a few people did say they would be interested, so I did post those. Now, while we were away off camera, I finished the stitching that I started in part one. Okay, and these videos are in my Christmas playlist, so if you want to go find them, I'll make sure I link it for you in the description. But I finished the stitching, and I had one of you suggested, thank you, why don't I use my use my paper piercer and do the holes, you know, where I want to stitch, because I was having so much trouble. It made it so much easier. So thank you for that suggestion. I also sewed on a piece of ribbon and rickrack. And let's see what we did on the inside, okay? So on the inside, I went ahead and attached here. Oh, well, before I talk about that, I decided to cover where I had folded over the placemat. I decided to cover it with this green gingham fabric, and I didn't have any, but I don't know if you guys, if you watch a lot of my videos, you may remember I showed you guys this fabulous apron that I had found, and it was green gingham, and then there were these two wonderful pockets. It says Portugal on the waistband. There's a little bit of staining. I mean, it's old. I got it at a thrift store, and I will use this for something, and there's still some pieces here left that we may use in this journal, or I'll use for something. But anyway, I just cut two pieces to the right size, ironed them, stitched them, and I didn't stitch them on here because I didn't want to see that, right, on the stitching, but I used Fabrifex, and I did stitch here this pom-pom to the fabric, and then same here. The little rickrack was already on the apron. So anyway, these are attached, and then on the front cover, I went ahead and put one of these that we made in a video using my holiday cheer paper kit, which is the kit I'm primarily using in this journal, but I'll use others and other things, I'm sure, as I go. But we made this in a little flippy. I have another one that I don't think I've installed yet that we'll probably put somewhere in this journal. Love that. And it gives us a pocket on the front, and I left it open so that we have a large pocket back here, okay? Now together we're going to do something on the back cover here in just a little bit. The other thing I did, if you guys remember the pages that printed out from the holiday cheer kit, I was like, oh my gosh, they're a lot smaller, but I didn't want to lose any of my image of the wreath and Santa for the cover. So I did, not on all the pages. I mean, this is the size, you know, that they printed and are in here. But on a few, I've already added some kind of edge just to make it larger, and I'll do more of that. We're going to do some of those. I also had some one-sided Christmas-themed scrapbook paper. And it has this fun texture. I got it at Hobby Lobby a few years ago. And this one has the Christmas lights, and I just cut them and then glued them to a page that I didn't mind, you know, losing the image. This one I've already put a piece of ribbon on. This one I haven't done anything, but they're nice and large and sturdy. I intentionally tore it to give that little effect. I think we'll do some flip outs and fun things on here because these pages are nice and sturdy. And I may even do a couple more. I really was trying to pick pages that I didn't mind losing the image on the digital. So another idea, instead of wrapping it around, is I could, you know, just glue it maybe to the solid side. So we're going to play with all of those ideas and look at how we can use the fun elements from this kit, fussy cuts, tags, different things to really start working in this journal and give you some page ideas and things. So I know a couple of people said that they had placemats they were going to use and to make a similar type cover. But again, make any cover you want if you want to make a Christmas journal along with me and use some of these ideas. Okay, like I said, if you want to see any of the past videos using this kit and get Christmas ideas, just go to that playlist on my YouTube channel. All right, the other thing I want to encourage you to do is give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment, tell me what you're thinking about, and we will be able to be connected, and I'll know you're out there and all the good things. Thank you. Yeah, here's some pieces that I've made with this kit and this other flip, and we'll start getting them in the journal as well. Now this piece, I started to do it off camera, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna stop because I want to really look at it with you guys. This was just one of the, oh, here's the other piece. You know, one of the pages, and I'm sure it's in here somewhere, but I decided to cut it off. I'm sure I'll use this for me, and we're gonna make a nice large pocket for the back cover. All right, but I want it to be nice and roomy so that I could put, you know, if they're narrow enough, like Christmas cards, again, big tags, maybe some chunky type things. So we're gonna make some gussets and get this installed in the journal. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, a lot of times when you get kits, they have that option for you to cut, and then sometimes you get a kit like this one and it doesn't have that option, and that's okay. We're gonna just make some. And I thought I had a piece of paper, here we go, that I wanted to use to make them with. So I am going to need 2 strips of paper that measure, let's see, and this is just based on the size of my pocket. Yours will be based on the height and width of your pocket. So I'm gonna go 4 1/8. Yeah, 4 1/8. 2 that are that height, and 1 that is, we'll go 1, 2, 5 3/8. Okay, whew, what a mess. And I'm gonna make them, I'll decide how wide here in a second. So let's do the one on the bottom first. So I said 5, oh gosh, my brain. And again, you can make this for any pocket. Instead of just gluing it down like I do 99% of the time, you can do this. 1, 2, I said 3/8. 5 3/8. Hopefully this will work. Okay. And I'm not gonna make it a gusset that has multiple layers. I'm just gonna do like 1. So we're just gonna fold it in half. So let's just make it 1 inch wide. And then we're just gonna fold it in half. And I could have done this on the mat and it would have been easier. Okay, you just fold it in half. And this is going to get installed along the bottom so that the pocket can just open up just a little bit. All right. Now, the ones that I'm going to put along the sides, let me think about that. I'm going to also make them 1 inch wide. But again, what did I say? Like 4 1/8. I think that will work. Okay. So I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip. And then I'm going to go to 4 1/8. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And so I will have 2 4 1/8 by 1 inch strips. Okay. Let's see how this is going to work. And it's just a little detail, but it will give me a little bit roomier pocket. And on the outside, you know, cover, it can handle, you know, some larger items. All right, so what I've got to decide is, do I want these to overlap, and does that impact what happens, or do I need it something like this? Like, what will it do? Will it close? I don't want to, I'm trying to not lose any of my space in my journal. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, so we're going to glue down the strips that are the vertical that go on the sides first, just like that, and put the folded side out so that you get the, you know, the inside roominess in your pocket. All right, so we're just gonna glue it down. And it's okay that it's not all the way to the top, not a problem. And you can make these just like with white paper. You know, you won't see them too much or printed on one side. This is just, like I said, what I had prepared was this piece of paper. All right, and then put that one down. Now open these up, and we are gonna put this one right here on the inside and glue it to the ones we just put down and the bottom. Okay. There we go. Could have trimmed it just a touch, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna fix it by doing that. And we'll see the gusset just a touch, but I'm okay with that. All right, now I think I've even already inked this pocket, because like I said, I was about to just do this, and I thought, no, let me show you guys how I'm doing this. And I know I did all of this off camera, and if you're trying to make one along with me, I apologize. There was just a lot of going to the sewing machine, a lot of just not sure how it was gonna work. And this piece I didn't prepare exactly the right size, so I put a piece of ribbon down. I just, you know, I just kind of made it work. You could line yours with paper and it would probably be a lot easier. So again, it doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but you certainly have options. So now when we glue this down by the gussets, we will have a nice roomy pocket. Now I am going to attempt, don't like using Fabrifix on camera very often, but I am going to use my Fabrifix, and then we're just gonna leave it alone because it does need time to dry. We may come back and put some glitter or some sparkles or some different things like that on here after it has time to dry. You know what, if I want glitter, I should do that now, shouldn't I? Let's keep the glue hopefully going. You know what? I'll use like liquid pearls or something like that. Let's just keep going because I don't even have my glitter out. So when it's Christmas, I have all these, just all these ideas that I want to do. All right, I also have my hot glue gun warmed up, and we'll probably use it some today as well. But I, again, was trying to show you guys, yes, I do use Fabrifix. I just don't do it that often on camera. And I know some people, like, this is like their everyday glue. They just love it. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just, I get it all over me, and I don't know. And again, it takes a long time to dry. But it is good for paper to paper, paper to fabric, fabric to fabric. So, I mean, it definitely has its uses and is a great product. So, all right, we just have to leave it alone. And see, I'm not great at leaving things alone. So we'll check on it in a little bit. Okay? So I think this is the pin I took out of here. And this is just a Sugar Bell bottle. And I do like putting my Fabrifix in this. It has a great top, the metal tip, and you can just use one of the pins that won't rust or anything. You need to make sure that, like these are stainless steel, and I get them on Amazon, and they won't rust and get all icky in your glue. If you use a regular sewing pin that isn't, you know, and I've done that. I've made that mistake. So, okay, cuteness. I'm just loving how this is coming together. Now, let me show you how I did this. Again, this is like the easiest way to extend, and then it can be decorated. I'm also thinking about making some fabulous snippets so that we can put those to kind of extend some of the pages as well. Not that they all need to be. All right, so this page printed the same height, you know, as the pages, which is fine. This one, I think I tore the other direction. Again, doesn't matter. It does not matter. We are going to tear, and again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I think I want both edges. Oh, I remember what I did. Both edges to have a torn edge. So we are going to go ahead and trim this off just to make it a little shorter because my tear ruler is not very tall. Whoops. Pooey. Oh, that's okay because it's going to get torn off. Ah. All right. All I did, because I want it to match, is I did fold it in half. And again, this is printed on the Nina 90-pound cardstock. I'm going to choose this side. Okay, so they match, right? And they match. And we can choose whichever side we want. If we want this color or the green, I already had one green. And you could just paper that's only printed on one side. Yeah, not prepared. Not perfectly prepared. Okay, and I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to do the same thing. You could have a straight, you know, on one side. It doesn't really matter, but and I could even save this one and use it. So we'll do both. Okay, so let me just pick a place in the journal that I would like to add this. Let's go back here. And I definitely want to do one here. This will be maybe this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just ink these so that it, you know, it kind of stands out a little. And we are going to see both sides. So that white core is showing a little, but I'm going to put a little ink on it, and I can ink it more later. Or I can also, you know, add other things if it's bothering me. But really, it's not. It almost looks like a little bit of snow, a touch of snow on that side. Okay, so this is where it's going to cover up an image just a little bit. So I want to decide where I want to place it. I think it's going to just, you know, just a little bit on that pine cone. I can even come out a little further if I want to. All right, so all I did, I mean, again, this could not be any easier, is I just added some glue right along the edge. And I'm going to put my first piece down. Okay, and then we'll open it up. And honestly, you don't even have to put another one. I don't mind seeing that. If we want to make it go further, right? We can also put it here like I did the other, and it's double-sided. But you know, that's looking pretty good. I could even do a piece of washi tape if I wanted to. I could just do a strip of paper, again, decorate it. Let's make this go further. Why not? Especially since it's double-sided. This one was not double-sided, and I didn't want to see the white. Well, look at that. Hallelujah. Okay. If I do this, that one will look good right there. Okay. So, again, However you want to do it. This one is nice. I mean, it's nice and thick because it's 2 layers of cardstock, but you know, I kind of want it to go a little further. So there we go. And this one is slightly taller. So I am going to trim it off just because I think I'll like how it looks better. Ooh, see right here? This is kind of the part of when you're making journals, all the little just touches and pieces. A lot of times, I know I don't always show everything when I'm making a journal. I do, you know, quite a bit off camera as well. But it does look, it just kind of starts to make the whole thing, I think, look interesting. And like I said, I can even use these, right? So let's tear these. They just won't be quite as, whoops, woo, you know, quite as wide. This one's going to be nice and torn. But we'll just get a touch of ink right there. I'll glue this edge down and let this edge hang off. Let's go maybe to here. Oh, it's green, so let's do it this way. All right, this is the edge that I want to glue down. All right, this time I'm going to add the glue right here to make sure I get that little torn piece, right? And I'm just going to barely put it on the paper. Yeah, it's just giving everything else. Now we can also do lace and ribbons and things like that on the edges too. But I'm just going to do these since I have these little papers. If you don't want to watch me glue this one, you're welcome to hit the fast forward button. If you're interested in this particular paper kit, again, you use any papers you want, whether it's Christmas or a different theme, just to use these ideas. But if you are interested in the holiday cheer, which is my newest Christmas journal kit, available on Etsy. I will have it linked for you in the video and in the description. So, yeah, just enjoy if you're interested. Let's put this one right here. All right, it's not torn, and it's a little easier for me to just add the glue like that. So there we go. So using the paper I printed on both sides actually ended up serving me well. And again, if we're worried about this at all, I'm really not, but if we are, we can add a strip of washi tape or another strip of paper and kind of sandwich it in there. Okay, let me show you how I did this. So for these, like I said, I really don't want to cover up my pretty images. This one was one where it was more of like a journaling page, which I have plenty of spaces where they're solid, so I wasn't too worried about giving that up. But I don't want to cover up my reindeer. But if I did, this is all I did, is I cut the scrapbook paper for this size journal to 11.5 by 9.25. Folded it in half on that. And that tells you how tall this journal is. You know, this paper 9.25 inches. And then all I did, I inked it, but then I just sandwiched it in like this. Okay, and then now that page is bigger. What I think I'm going to do, because I don't want to lose my images, but I would like, you know, another large page in there. And we'll see if we like how it looks. I don't know if I will or not, but we'll try it. I am going to glue, because this is single-sided, you know, Christmas scrapbook paper. I'm just going to glue it together. And of course, now that I've done that, I just thought I could have left it open and we could have had like this great big pocket. Maybe we'll do that with another one here in a second. But I didn't do it, so here we go. So now I just have a large piece of double-sided paper, right? Whoops. And this is a nice weight, like I said, and it has this nice texture. I know this brand was Paper Studio, and then it was bought at Hobby Lobby, but several seasons ago. But sometimes their kits, just the paper does have this really nice texture. So when you're there, or if you shop there, you may want to look and see what they have, because I am enjoying it. Okay, so right now I have 2 that have been extended. And I think what I'm going to do, I may even put it here on the last, here at the last page. Now I do want it to line up, if possible, with these. And I'm just gonna glue it to this page. So that's what it would look like with the kitty cat page. And, oh, I know, we'll glue it down. I think it'll be sturdy enough, just here and here and along this edge, and then we'll have a pocket under kitty cat. Let's try that. Okay, I like that idea. Now, like I said, I've got to figure out, I think I'll mark it, and that will help me. I am lining it up using these pages I've already put in. After I did the first one, that's how I did the second. Okay. And get to that page. Okay, I'm going to use a pencil, and I am going to mark. I can always erase it if I see it later. There. Right, one thing I didn't look at was needed to go up a touch, like right there. All right, hopefully, I know y'all can't see it. I can barely see it, but just to help me get this glued where I want it. Okay, and I have these marks. So I am going to, I can see them. I have a mark here and a mark here. I don't think there's any direction to this paper. So I'm going to add glue along this section, and it's going to make sense in just a moment, I hope. Up to that line, I'm making a pocket, and it's going to be a big pocket. And if I think it's too floppy, we'll add glue. Now I'm going to add glue from this line that I marked to the edge. I do not want glue here because this is going to be the opening for that kitty page. And I knew I wouldn't get a straight bead of glue. That's why I put it on here. All right, now we're going to flip it around. Of course, now I can't see my mark. Maybe should have marked both sides, Pam. Yeah, close enough. All right. Let's just see. Oh, that's pretty straight. All right, gonna let that grab really good, but let me use something. We now have a big, deep pocket here. So like maybe Christmas cards or other ephemera or letters, things like that that we want to save, photos, whatever can go there. Look, that's sticking great. Okay, happy. All right, so now when we look at our journal, you know, we have some pages we've extended this way. We have pages that I extended that way. And these are going to be just wonderful pieces, like I said, to do more interactive elements if we want to. All right. Okay, let me just think of what I want to do next or show you guys next. Oh, I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to do some of this as an edge extender? I love this. I love this stuff, like 2 layers. So again, let's pick a page. We could also just, you know, stick it down, but let's just pick a page that we want some. Right there. Again, I'm trying not to cover up too much of my pretty images, but again, I don't mind losing like a little bit of his hand, I think. Or again, I could just glue it to this side. So let me think through. We might do it both ways and see, you know, like on 2 different pages. All right, I'm just using this to mark where I'm gonna cut it. And actually, I want this one, I want 2 pieces the same length, and I would like this one to fold over like that. So I'm just going to cut once. Hope I'm pretty close. All right. So, like if I don't want to lose Mr. Snowman's hand, right? What I can do is glue this together, glue it to this page, and then on this side, you'll see the ribbon, but you won't cover Mr. Snowman's hand. So let's do that. Now, I have discovered this ribbon does better for me with hot glue. I have not tried the Fabrifix, and it may do well, but we're gonna try it with the hot glue since I haven't used it, and I think it will be a little bit quicker. So let's get it folded over first of all, like that. Okay, it does like to curl up, doesn't it? Again, I don't know if I even need to glue the whole way, the whole way down, but since I've never done this, let's err on maybe having a little too much glue. Now look, it also gives it that nice kind of more of a stiffness. Do a bead of glue, don't know where it went. Okay. It's not perfect, but I like it. So let's keep going. All right, this is Snowman. Maybe right there. All right, I think it will be easier to do it this way. And I will put just a touch of glue and we'll work our way up. All right, ooh, this is gonna be so pretty. I'm gonna be so sad when I run out of this. I don't know how much is left on my reel. There's quite a bit there. It goes, I think, almost all the way into the core, but I am gonna be sad when it's gone because you can't find stuff like this, or I've never found it anywhere else, and it is magical, I think. It's cheery, holiday cheer. Don't glue my papers together, Pam. Okay, y'all, I love that. Ugh. I don't know. I know it's just very simple, but getting that stripe in there, woo, cuteness. Okay, so it is curling just a little bit, but again, I'm okay with that. Now, I was thinking about using, and of course I haven't pressed this, so we may wait, but I should have just pressed the whole apron before I cut it apart, but I pressed as I went, just the pieces I was using. This would be a fun, like, ruffly edge to bring in, the gingham. Let's see, maybe in this section. All right, that already has that, and that has that. So let's pick one of these. Okay. I am going to wing it. So if you have some fabric, these are what I'm looking for. If you have some fabric, of course, it doesn't have to be from an apron, but if you just have some fabric or, things that aren't being used, whether it's a tablecloth, again, a placemat, napkin, think of how you might be able to repurpose it into your junk journals, because I think it really can add just a fun little twist, right? Now, I can kind of envision making it a little bit gathered so it almost looks like a little wretched, is that the word? No, wretched. I don't know how to say it. Piece of ribbon. I could put it on my sewing machine and, you know, sew it and make it do that. But I think we're going to wing it and just see what happens. Why not, right? Let me get this ink because I don't want to accidentally, as I'm doing this, get ink on my cover. All right. So again, do I want it on one of these plain papers, or do I want to put it, you know, on one of these? I think I'm going to stay here. Again, try not to cover up too much. And I don't know what the best approach is. I think what I'm going to do is glue the top and the bottom, and maybe the middle, and then kind of work that way. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But we'll just kind of gather it up a little as we go. And I don't feel like it has to be, you know, completely even. I can always put another piece of ribbon or something with it. Should we go maybe to the middle? I said I don't matter if it, I don't care if it's perfectly even, and here I am. Okay. I know I hit the glue, hit this other page. Ugh. Pam, why didn't you put a piece of parchment paper under here? That's what I normally do. We'll have to put something there because it did touch that, but it'll be okay. And let's just learn from our mistake. This is not parchment paper, but if it sticks to that, it'll be okay. All right. Do just a little kind of ruffle something. And a little ruffle something. I think it's gonna look cute. Why not, right? And it also has the little rickrack on it, which also makes me happy. Okay, so I'm just winging it, but I'm liking it so far. There you go. What do y'all think? Tell me if you like this idea. So once you start gathering it up like that, I'm like, it could have even been the longer side of the apron. Whoops. Come on. My finger was sticky and it pulled up. I'm going to trim those off instead of worrying about pulling at them. I'm going to be patient and I am going to cut it. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, I think it's cute. I don't know if I made it too wide. I have no idea. Let's put that there. Oh gosh, glue. Oh, no, I don't think so at all. It could have even like stuck out further and it would have made me happy. Okay, so that's an idea of how you can just use a strip of fabric instead of, you know, because like sometimes the lace is already like fun and ruffly. But doesn't that look good? We might even do another one later. I'm going to do that off camera. Okay. The other thing, and I've made snippets before, but we are going to make a quick little snippet to put on one edge because I just think that will be fun with some of these fussy cuts. So again, let's see. This strip, a lot of times I will make my snippets on washi tape. I'm going to use this because this may show, and we will put all of our little pieces that I'm going to use on this side. All right. Now, the other thing that I'm going to use is I have some of these kind of little pieces and strips, and I have scrap of paper and things like that. So And if I use some of my single-sided paper, we're gonna definitely, like when we look at this side, so I may actually decorate the back of the snippet too. We'll just see, or once I put it on the page, decorate it. That's what I'll do. I'm not gonna worry about it. You'll see really quick. Okay, so when I do these, I usually am just using up scraps and strips like this, things like that, right? And I just start gluing them down. I was looking to see if on these I had any that was a little bit more narrow, and right now I'm not seeing it, so I will just tear it. I want this a little, not quite so wide. And I'm just gonna glue it down. A lot of times with my snippets, I then sew. I'm gonna look at this one here in a moment and decide if I need to sew it or if I can just, I think I can just put cute little fussy cuts and things on it, and it's gonna just look wonderful like I want. So I'm not gonna worry too much. I'm gonna do a solid green right there. And let's do a piece where we get the music. And because of the way I'm overlapping, and I like the torn edge look, I'm not too worried that this piece isn't torn because it's gonna get another piece with it. I kind of want to save that for something. Doesn't it look pretty? Right. All right, and if you have not seen me make snippets before, this is a little different than, I mean, it's still using scraps, but I'm really trying to make this one match. And of course, these are now getting wider than those, you know. Usually I keep them about the same width, but, oh gosh, I think I hit the camera. Sorry. I'll do another solid because I am going to load this one up with some fun. Hopefully, y'all will agree, some fun. Oh, look, here's a Santa. I haven't put this one down yet. We're going to put him right there. I have the page to extend a page in the journal with the Santa paper. I haven't decided if I'm going to use it or not. Every time I kind of held it to the page, I was like, I'm not sure I like how it looks, but I like him there. Okay, now, get this stuff out of my way for right now. This is why I save so many scraps, because I love making snippets. Now see, I usually don't even worry about the back side, and I may not, but we'll see. Again, this is a very special journal, and I want to make sure that, right, there's the holiday cheer, the name of this kit. I was thinking I cut some out that said Santa, but I don't know if I did or not. Ooh, the holiday magic. I wanted to use this when we were making something earlier. And there's a wreath. This is definitely going to end up on a page somewhere. Here's a gingerbread man. Oh, how cute, right? All right, I normally just make the snippet and then I put it on a page, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm liking how all of those are looking. Let's grab our journal. And again, I'm trying to spread things out. At some point, I'm gonna have all of these pages extended and it's going to be fabulous. Okay, so if I do something like this, see, we'll see a little bit and then we could put a piece of ribbon or decorate or something like that. All right, I kind of want to make sure down here has some color or something to it. So let's just put I think I need something bigger than that. Let's go here. Okay. I kind of need it almost the exact width without hanging over on the other side. All right, I can trim that off. I think this will make sense in just a moment while I'm doing this, because I have an idea of putting a piece of ribbon on that side. Okay, I'm gonna trim that off where you see the white. Okay. So now, when it's hanging off, we've got green here and we have green here. And then I'm gonna do something with this edge in just a moment. All right, we're gonna glue it down, decorate it, and then fix the other side. Okay. Adding glue here, and then I'm gonna add glue along here. Believe it or not, you really don't need much glue. It really, you know, it really is okay, but I wanted, oh yeah, I wanted it down like that. Let's just make sure. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about that side just yet. Now we're gonna go back, and I am gonna add a touch of ink to some of these. This is a little mitten and a little gingerbread. I'm still, Bobby, if you're watching, you mentioned, wouldn't it be fun to have a gingerbread kit? And it would be so much fun to have a gingerbread kit. Haven't gotten to it, but I'm hoping I will get to it before too long. See, this is why I was thinking I might wait, because how fun is that? Just kind of like bringing it over onto the page. And let's, oh, here's Santa. Let's just put Santa on here too. And it doesn't have to, you know, all stay right on the snippet. Yes. All right, I'm gonna glue these down. And I have done lots of snippets where I just get the scraps together. I, you know, a lot of times will just run a seam, because until you put some of these things or glue it down, they wobble a lot. When you're making them, like with washi tape and stuff, they're not, you know, the most secure yet, but then with the different layers you put on them and are sewing them, they end up being great. So anyway, I'll do that. And then when I'm ready, you know, I'll stick them on a journal and then add some extra embellishments. Sometimes I just go ahead whole hog and get them all decorated, and then I use them wherever. So lots of different strategies, but a great way to use up, look at that, to use up some scraps. Okay, so we could do, we've got a Christmas tree here. We could do another strip of this just right along the edge to kind of cover that up. Let's see what it would look like on the back or on the front. Yeah, that would look fine. Let's do that. Why not? All right, I'm gonna trim. Oops, wrong scissors. I'm like, why does that not want to cut? That's how dull those scissors are. They work great on paper though. All right, we're gonna do where we don't have a portion of a tree. Now this was just bought at Hobby Lobby, I think like last year after everything Christmas. Like right now, Hobby Lobby 50% off Christmas, but of course, right at Christmas and right after, it's like super inexpensive if you can find ones that you like and enjoy, right? Okay. And again, you don't have to do this. This doesn't, to me, look bad. It is a junk journal, but in the spirit of it's a junk journal and it's Christmas themed, you know, I like to add lots of extras. And I'm just going to use the hot glue. It'll hold it down great. And I don't have to wait for it to dry or worry about sticking my pages together. So there we go. Almost done. Okay, so of the ideas that I've shared, if you haven't already, or you can leave another comment, Tell me which ideas you liked and what you might try in a journal that you make at some point, whether you're making one along with me or making, you know, planning one for the future. Which of all the ideas did you like? We've got this little ribbon idea, the snippet, the scrapbook paper to make the pages bigger, the torn edge extenders, right? We also did this fabulous, you know, y'all, like, look, how cute is that? We're gonna put that right there. Right there. Love it. I may do more later. Okay, so we have that idea. And we have this pocket with the gussets that we made. And see, that Fabrifix is fabulous if you're patient. So, at some point, quite a few items that I've already made. But like, see how nice and roomy that is? We also have, and all I did here, of course, it'll probably disappear. All I did here was just glue it down. But that's pretty roomy too. Don't want to lose him, but I'll just put him there. What else do I have? I have another one of these that I'm going to really think about. And I have this card that I made that to me is like a Christmas card you'll send. But let's see. With our gussets. Yeah. See? I mean, something really big will fit in there. It would also, whoops, it's hanging on that poinsettia. It would fit right there. I kind of liked it in here, didn't you guys? All right, we'll put it there for now. All right, woo, I just love it. It's really, really coming together. Tell me what you think. Tell me if there's some things you'd like to see me demonstrate in this particular journal. I'll do at least one more video on this one. And then probably leave it for whoever, you know, has it to finish writing, putting their Christmas memories, those types of things in there. I may give it to one of my kids for their Christmas memories. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Until next time, enjoy crafting. Thanks for watching.